What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode 135. We've got, I'm Fox 2. We've got Pirate.
Oh, yeah, the ripping and the tearing.
And Topher.
I was going to ask what he's ripping and tearing, but I really don't actually want to know.
Ripping and a tearing.
I do appreciate, though, that his camera is centered on something much more attractive, like his bookshelf, than his actual face.
That's a good point.
Oh, damn it. I ruined it.
So the whole effing Brian is whole effing absent. So this week it rotates to hashtag fuck Brian. Make sure you leave that in the comments section. Hashtag fuck Brian.
Did we get any hashtag fuck pirates last week?
I didn't see
last
any.
week?
Yeah, you were gone last week at a wedding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was in Kentucky.
How do I know your schedule better than you know your schedule? That's scary. That's terrifying.
That is
actually.
actually very scary because now I'm like going to have to
terrifying.
watch over my shoulder everywhere I go. Like, fuck, is Fox here?
You're goddamn right.
Fox.
Well, I mean, Pirate's clearly not the responsible one, so...
Hey, that is probably a good point. I mean, I have been entrusted with the care of a 14-year-old child for this summer, so it could be
terrifying.
It could be a bad thing.
This could be the last summer we have Pirate on the podcast. Do they have Wi-Fi in jail? I don't. Do they? Is that a?
No.
Okay, so Pirate, you had some political news. I don't know how you would.
It was not really political news. It's just a
you-
thought thing.
Yeah, no, this is.
So I seen it was
You
kind
saw.
of like a statement, or it might even been a meme, but it was something.
Are we correcting Pirate's grammar now?
Oh,
Are we?
It's gonna be a whole podcast.
We're not
for
going
if
down
it
that
is.
road.
Like,
That's a fucking rabbit
So
hole that
that's
I
a-
am not
Because
interested
I
in.
gave up on that a long time ago.
most people that hang out with me more than 2 or 3 weeks realize that that's probably just
Normally I'd be
an
all
old
about
joke.
that, but I feel like it's a losing battle that
Oh, it's for
I
sure
don't have the
losing.
energy to fight.
For sure, it's a losing battle.
So I saw a meme. I think it was a meme, and it said, "Do you realize?" Or it says, "Do you know who Cobra Commander is? Cobra Commander was who funded his armament and this and that with troops." As Topher holds up a bobblehead shoved
This
in
was
his
better
camera.
when you pitched
That's
it.
Cobra Commander.
You did a much better
reflection
job of
of
pitching the
the
idea
window.
when we weren't recording.
Well, I got distracted. So, anyways, basically, Hasbro has been funding Cobra Commander, and coincidentally, Hasbro also funds GI Joe.
Damn, they sound
There's
like
your
the Stark.
thought.
They sound like Stark Industries of the GI Joe universe.
So,
Just
They're just a
Hasbro
bunch of
is
warmongers.
goddamn warmongers.
Yeah,
Hasbro.
Hasbro, do you even bro has?
Do you
Hasbro?
do you even Hasbro?
Hasbro?
Do you even Hasbro?
Bro.
That should be the next. After what was the last T-shirt idea we had? We had a really good T-shirt idea last week. I can't remember what it was, but
Fuck Topher?
Last week we did?
it was within the last
Oh.
couple episodes. We had a really good one, but
I don't remember that.
I like this one too. Hasbro? Question mark.
Do you even Hasbro?
Do you even Hasbro? Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Nerd meets
Yeah,
meathead.
it's an idea.
It's an idea. I don't know if it's a good
I'm
one.
not sure it's a good one. Definitely an idea.
Yeah. So
We'll leave it at that. The idea.
We can all agree on that.
right. Let's jump into the real news, Pirate.
News.
Oh, there it is.
I think it's been several weeks since we've had a news jingle because I think the last time you were on here you were too hungover to do one.
Well, that's the benefit about sometimes starting in the evening.
Yeah. Oh man, I got some zingers here today. I don't know where to start. Do I start with the fun stuff or do I start with the controversial stuff?
Oh boy, if you start with the controversial stuff, we're gonna talk.
Let's get to
all
the
the way
fun stuff first. That way, if the controversial stuff
Fair
runs,
enough.
I can just sit back and let you and Topher go.
Darth Vader will.
How do you know it's going to be him and me that
'Cause it's
disagree?
all-
Because I don't have that. I'm not passionate enough about anything to fucking care.
I don't even have to be passionate about it. I just like arguing.
As long, I mean, if we get into the whole Led Zeppelin trial, then I'll fucking get fired. But
I'm only passionate about one thing: arguing with Fox.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought we were going to say wieners, but whatever. Darth Vader will be in Rogue One, and he will be voiced by James Earl Jones. Awesome!
Fuck yeah!
That is fucking great news.
I mean, is there anybody else you would have play him?
No, how awkward would that? How awkward would that be? I mean, I guess you could.
James Earl Jones is 88 years old at this point, so a lot of people don't still work at that age. So
that's a Betty White.
Well, you say who else would you get? I don't think they were going to seek to replace him, but he might not have been up to it.
Morgan Freeman.
Well,
that's my Darth Vader.
I think they've done such a good job of keeping. They brought back Han Solo. They brought back Princess Leia. They brought back Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca. I think it makes it right if you bring him in. Like you said, he probably doesn't have that many years left of working, for sure, living.
I'm surprised they didn't bring back for this? It's Ian McDiarmid, Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
From what I've heard, the antagonist of the movie is basically trying to up his political standing so that he can become Palpatine's go-to guy, and so with Palpatine being the overall ranking Imperial in the picture, I guess
would he be a Palpatine?
Palpatine.
Sure.
I thought it was mildly entertaining.
I'm amused that you're amused. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's all I asked for. I'm a simple man.
Bryan Cranston is going to be playing Zordon in the next Power Ranger movie.
Power Rangers, time to cook.
I don't like. Why do you make this move? Why do you make this move as a career move? Why do you go from coming off the heels of Breaking Bad? This dude is like
coming off the heels of the show that ended.
He's Bryan Cranston. He's a nerd. He likes going to conventions.
He wants to anything he wants.
He went to San Diego Comic-Con dressed as his character from Breaking Bad. He put on a mask and people didn't know it was him, and he just walked around and talked to people. It was fantastic. Like, the dude can do whatever he wants, and if he wants to fucking be Zordon, then the dude can fucking be Zordon. Why are you putting him down?
I'm just saying, is that a good career move?
If somebody came up to me...
Do you think this movie's going to do well?
How is it not a good career move?
Do you really think
Is there anybody who really doubts Bryan Cranston's acting chops and is going to look at him as less of a person because he played to a fandom that would enjoy him in that role?
Anyone watching Power Rangers is going to give a fuck about acting chops?
Dude, this is not going to be the Power Ranger movie that sucked for the whole time.
I'm confused. Are you saying it's a bad move for Power Rangers? It's a bad move for Bryan Cranston.
I'm saying that in this world, you are only as good as your last project. That's a fucking fact. That is true. That is what everybody judges everything off of. It's not what you've done in the past. It's what did you do last.
If I'm a Hollywood producer and Bryan Cranston comes to me and is interested in my project, and I go, "Oh man, you were great in Breaking Bad," and he goes, "Yes, but more recently, did you see I was Zordon in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?"
Yeah, but see, that's not a realistic conversation.
Wow, okay, never mind. You took a nosedive. My thought would be, "Holy shit, that's awesome. We got to get you."
No, see, he wouldn't. But that's not how it would happen. That's not a realistic conversation. You're saying that somebody that's working in Hollywood as a producer wouldn't know that he was in the Power Rangers movie?
I'm saying that they wouldn't give a shit. Who cares if he's in the
for
Power
sure
Rangers
they would
movie?
give a shit.
Bryan fucking Cranston.
If that movie flops or he doesn't
confused.
do well in it, then it's his fucking hype is gone. For sure.
Our whole premises on Bryan Cranston's future career is the basis of if the Power Rangers movie is going to fucking flop. Wait a minute. Why is this even a conversation?
For sure it is. That's a big part of it. You don't think so?
No,
because Fox is a
if
conspiracy
he goes,
theorist.
No.
All right. Okay.
It's the Power Rangers. When was the last time you was at a comic book convention that didn't have a fucking entire section of the fucking place designated
a
Power Ranger?
That is the pinnacle of success in Hollywood, is coming to the fucking Lexington Comic-Con and having a booth.
Oh, Lexington. The only one you've been to that's been like that is Lexington?
Okay.
Really?
Or the
How
one
many
in
comic
Dayton,
conventions have you been to?
8, 9 different ones, and they've all had Power Rangers, but I'm saying, how many times did you see, I don't know, name any A-list celebrity? Tom Cruise. How many times did you see Tom Cruise at a comic book convention having his own place?
How many comic book movies has he been in?
Or Angelina Jolie. Or
there are people...
and you haven't seen them in any comic book movie.
Ben Affleck.
You said what's the likelihood
Ben
of
Affleck,
Hollywood...
San Diego, New York, like...
You said what's the likelihood of a Hollywood producer not knowing that Bryan Cranston was in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers if he's in the Power Rangers movie? So I'm going to turn that question around on you and say I agree with you. And what's the likelihood of a Hollywood producer knowing that and not knowing that he was a decent actor and was having fun with a role and having him taint that opinion against him because of it? Like,
I'm just saying that there's been plenty of instances over. I mean, we could figure it out. It would take a little bit of time, but there's been plenty of interest. If you look at actors where they're hot and they're popular and they've got a huge role, they crush it and they're super popular, and then they take another role in a questionable film and the film does shitty, and you don't see that motherfucker for a long time.
I mean,
there's another thing too, though. He's never played in a movie. He's played in TV shows.
Yeah,
he's a TV actor. He is not a movie actor. This is still a
step up for him.
Yeah,
and it's not like he's playing the star of some film, you know, and it's going to be some artsy thing that follows him around.
You're not even going to see his face.
The movie's going to be make or break on his performance. It's going to be a cameo. He's going to be a bodiless floating head in a space future room.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Like I just don't see how this hurts him. Since I wouldn't be me if I didn't have something relevant to the conversation just sitting within arm's reach. So I give you a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fucking poster.
Nice.
Boom.
Yeah.
Nice. How do you guys think
Who's that? Jason Lee Frank on the front there?
Jason David Frank?
You have to do like this while you're talking, though.
How do you guys think that this movie's going to do?
Frank.
If it looks as anything like the realistic, like how they did kind of the dark side to that. Like, I heard that short film that was done by, what's his name? Zamir Ihar or whatever. The guy who did the Twisted 15-minute short film. They said that the movie they're going to do is going to be a dark interpretation of it. If it's at anything like that, it's going to be fucking awesome.
Ooh.
And I hate the Power Rangers. I will say that right now.
Have you seen the picture of the first look at? Have you seen the first look of Elizabeth Banks as Rita?
Yeah, she looks fucking pretty dope.
I loved that show when I was a kid.
That's good. I hated that fucking TV show, and I thought that she looked like an idiot. So that's
I love that show as a kid. It was stupid and it was campy as fuck, but it was
Topher,
awesome.
You were the same age as me. How could you be watching this?
I didn't like it
I was
either.
too busy chasing girls at that point. Like, I don't know.
I didn't like it either. I thought it was too... I mean, it was one of those things where, like, during that time frame, there really wasn't much on TV. So, like, after school or whatever, you didn't have a lot to watch anyway. So it was like that or like reruns of some bullshit sitcom.
I didn't say I thought it was quality. I said I thought it was amusing. I was entertained by it because it was campy as fuck and I enjoyed laughing at it while watching it. Like, I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like, amazing, serious, fantastic, one for the history books. But
says the motherfucker with a Power Rangers poster in arm's reach.
I was too busy skateboarding when it came out.
As a Voltron fan, as a kid growing up, seeing this, which was a blatant Voltron ripoff, was kind of like, okay, I'm interested. Like, clearly you're ripping it off, but it was so tongue in cheek. Like, I don't know how you could watch it and not smile. Like,
It reminded me of watching Ultraman with like 7 different Ultramans. You know what I mean? Like, and then you mix in Voltron in a way.
It's like Ultron or Ultraman and Voltron had a baby, and
it was like Voltramen and women.
Ultramen.
See, but also I was taking Taekwondo when the movie came, or when that show started. So like, you know, seeing like people doing like martial arts and shit on TV, it was kind of cool. It was like,
here comes the question: how many times did you watch it while you were wearing your gi and fucking doing the moves? Be honest.
We had a fucking bicycle helmet on and
a bold-faced lie. That motherfucker used to go get his balsa wood boards and break them right in front of the TV.
How many times did your fucking little brother get punched or kicked in the face watching Power Rangers?
Yes.
Not nearly as many as he got chokeslammed when we used to watch wrestling.
Oh, well.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Back before the good old days of wrestling, before those wild animals stole the name.
Never good days of wrestling. Another thing I never got into.
I was balls deep in some wrestling. I saw it live when I was a kid.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was balls deep in some wrestling.
Yeah, I bet you was. Yeah. Bet you love balls deep wrestling.
Yeah, that's the best kind. Sebastian Stan, in an interview, said that there was going to be a Captain America 4 movie. Now, this is unconfirmed, so I don't know how much weight you could really put behind it, but
I mean, it's a cash cow.
It's pretty. I don't. Did anybody ever doubt that there would be a Captain America 4 movie? Like,
I did. To be honest,
wouldn't they?
Just because of Chris Evans and what he said. I mean,
it doesn't quite fit the mold.
Been saying it since the first movie.
Right. I mean, Chris Evans at one point did say that he didn't want to keep playing the role, and then count in the fact that, like, when you look at their plan and everything, all the solo movies have been in threes. You know, it's planned for 3 Thors. There were 3 Iron Mans. You know, they didn't have a clear plan for any Cap-centric movies after the 3rd one. You know, it just seemed like, you know, they weren't going to do more than 3 individual movies for any one character. So I'm actually slightly surprised to hear that they would do
I'm not, because the Captain America movies, like the last, for sure, this last one wasn't a solo movie. Like, call it a Captain America film all you want. That was a fucking Avengers movie.
It was basically an Avengers movie. Yeah,
have they ever been a solo movie? I mean,
yeah, the first 2 were.
Winter Soldier was in every one of them. Falcon was in there. Fucking, what's her name? Black Widow was in the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
I'm just saying, like, just to play devil's advocate.
I see what you're. I don't know. I mean, I guess it never even occurred to me that they wouldn't do a 4th one. Like, they've all been really successful. Like, those have honestly, like, been kind of what's leading the charge lately. Obviously, Iron Man kind of started it, but the Captain America movies have really been kind of the center, you know, the centering, like, force behind the Avengers now.
That's good, because Captain America is such a better character than fucking Tony Stark. Like,
yeah,
Captain Rogers was Tony Stark. Captain Rogers.
Yeah, I think that
especially the way Tony Stark has became.
I think Robert Downey Jr. I think Robert Downey Jr. is a more, like, entertaining actor than Chris Evans.
He is, but I think also I don't think you can have, like, realistically when they're both in the same role, and I think we've really seen that in the last Captain America. Is they play all their personalities play off of each other so much that it makes it entertaining. But I mean, if I had to watch a Captain America movie,
I bet those 2 motherfuckers don't like each other.
No, there's no way. They like each other. They work too well together not to. Like, the only other person that I know that didn't like each other and worked well together was Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. Like, I don't know anybody since then.
I'm sure there's been
a hot minute.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's been a couple.
Fox is probably sitting there like, who the fuck is Bud Abbott and Lou Costello? Like,
I mean, I've heard of them.
My grandma used to watch them.
I mean, it's not like the top of my Netflix playlist or anything, but whatever.
That shit's so gangster. Ain't even on.
You probably still listen to vinyl records too.
No, I'm not.
You know why?
I'm not
Because you
into
did it
that.
before it was cool.
No, I just never liked vinyl. Like once I had a cassette, I was
Hipster pirate.
Throw on the cabbie hat.
Oh.
Turn up the
here we
fucking
go
handlebar
again.
mustache and listen to some vinyl.
Okay.
Watch some black and white movies.
All right. So I'm sorry I can watch movies that came out before I was
shit.
born.
So just to preface that, just because nobody listening probably understands what's going on right now, but there is nothing in the world that bothers Pirate more than people calling him a hipster. Because he really
and
isn't.
I don't even understand.
He really
I
isn't.
don't know how I get that.
He really is not. He's just himself. But for whatever reason, the hipsters have latched on to a lot of the things that Pirate also happens to like. And it's hilarious when you make those you illustrate those similarities. He gets a little heated. A little heated sometimes. We've had him pretty upset.
There are a lot of people that don't like being called a hipster, but I mean, to be fair, Pirate was doing it before everybody else jumped on that bandwagon.
Look at the dude biting his knuckle.
I fucking hate both of you. This podcast is over. Erroneous.
Oh God damn it! It's funny because we don't tease him for it often, but when we do, it's just one of those things.
But we do.
Snowball.
We record it. We put it on camera and record it.
They wait for it to like die down. Like they'll get under my skin with it. They'll wait for it to die down for a few months. They'll not even bring it up. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like
the abominable snowman. That bitch will just pop up.
God damn.
Oh shit. It was real bad when he had a full-on handlebar mustache. That was when it got real.
Yeah, that was bad.
I'm
not going. That was
anyway, on to the next bit of news. I don't think there's any way we can avoid it. We got to talk about this new Ghostbusters movie that's coming out.
There's a new Ghostbuster movie coming out?
Yeah, unfortunately. Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott remixed the Ghostbusters theme song. What the fuck?
I saw that. I saw that earlier today. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but
I seen it.
I was like, oh god, I'm not sure I want to listen to it.
Oh, it's exactly what you think it would be.
I fucking hate Fall Out Boy.
Pirate, have you listened to it yet?
No, I seen it. I seen it. I seen they
take a quick second and listen to it.
I might have
all right.
Listen in the background here.
Just take a quick second and put that on in your headphones. Just make sure it's not playing on anything because I'm sure Fall Out Boy would jump on the fucking opportunity to bust us for some copyright.
Yeah, right. Missy Elliott come here and fucking drop the thump on us.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, man. You've already. I guess why not? At this point, you've already shit on everything.
It's called Ghostbusters. I'm not afraid. Jesus Christ.
I mean, at this point, it sounds pretty much exactly what I'd expect a Fallout.
That's what I'm saying.
Boy cover of the Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Yeah, you're pretty much right there, man. You could probably have done this yourself.
Oh shit! It's coming through my other speaker here. Hold on.
Yeah, please don't air that because I don't want to have to cut out any audio.
So
it's terrible.
I'm afraid to ask, but what's the Missy Elliott part?
It's like 60%.
Does she have like a rap in the middle or something?
Yeah, like 60% of the way through, she's
gonna
dropping them.
Flip it
lyrics.
on, put it in, reverse it.
Yeah, she drops it, flips
it. Sure, but she can put first.
Because the only thing more trendy than having a pop
Did you hear what
electronic
Pirate just said?
Remix.
Did you hear what?
No,
Pirate?
what?
What's she gonna do, Pirate?
First, she can go back shoes. Farm shoes, she can buy first shit. She can put them down, flip it, and reverse it.
Then wet. Ah, Jesus. What's wrong with this world? Would be my first question.
I mean, this sounds like.
Why do you have to take something that's simplistically good and fuck it up?
All right, I'm listening to it now.
This sounds like the typical credits scene, credits rolling awful, kind of half feel good, but modern
terrible music
remix
to get people motivated to get out of the theater. Terrible music that nobody wants to hear, so they get up and leave their seats to go out of the theater. Perfect for them.
I mean, like, literally, this is like, I hear this song, and all I see when I close my eyes is I picture like movie credits scrolling past. It's one of those songs.
It's awful.
It's
Pirates bobbing his
not
head.
Great.
Not impressed. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Pirate, you can probably shut it off now. You've already got your opinion formed.
Hold on.
You gotta wait till the Missy Elliott
There's
part.
some layers here. I'm listening to. Hold on.
Fast forward. I don't want to spend fucking 15 minutes on this goddamn song. It doesn't deserve the popularity that comes with being discussed on Comic Book Nerd Nation. I'm just saying. This fucking... I don't know. What do you guys think about this Ghostbusters movie? They were talking about on the radio. I was listening to the radio today. I normally listen to podcasts on my way home from work in the car, but for whatever reason today I was listening to the radio, and the fucking radio DJs, which, by the way, radio DJs are probably some of the dumbest people I've ever heard in my life. Either that or their characters are stupid.
All right.
They were all hyped up about, like, I can't wait to see this. This movie's going to be fucking awesome. Like,
paid for by our sponsors, Ghostbusters.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, literally, that's the only person I've ever heard since this movie was announced that thought that this was going to be an awesome movie. What?
I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be entertaining. I don't think it's going to be a...
Do you think
I don't think it's going to be a classic
quote,
like the
awesome?
original. I think awesome is a stretch. I think awesome's a tall order just because you're recreating a classic which never goes off as
like
well.
Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott recreated Ray Parker Jr.'s classic.
I think the CGI is going to be... I think the special effects is going to be awesome. I think the movie's going to be fucking terrible, but I think it'll be worth watching once just to see the fucking ghosts and all the special effects.
I think there will be an entire new generation of fans who did not ever, young fans that never saw the original, and will see this one and will know it's not the original, some of them, or will be kids and not know the difference, and they will enjoy it, and they will grow up fondly remembering this movie as the first Ghostbusters thing they saw.
Here's my problem with motherfuckers who can't watch movies before they were born. You get fucking shit like this that gets called classics at some point in time.
What?
Vox?
No.
People who can't
watch movies that were made before I was born.
Minus Star Wars.
There's plenty
of Give me a movie. Give me one.
When was Roadhouse made? When was Did Pirate just freeze up and leave? I think he's gone.
I heard him for a split second there.
I'm here, motherfuckers.
Oh, okay. You froze up.
I hear you, but you were still completely frozen.
Oh.
Yeah, what...
he asked you when was Roadhouse made.
Roadhouse was made like 1985.
Okay, what about Top Gun?
1986.
What about Days of Thunder?
1990.
No, that was like 89.
Red Dawn.
I don't know.
Red Dawn, 1984.
He's just like making numbers up.
Yeah,
no, I'm serious.
Totally is. He's just pulling shit.
I kind of want to know.
There's no fucking way you know all those off the top of your goddamn head.
Look them up. Look up Red Dawn.
All right, what did you say Red Dawn was?
1984.
Well, he probably knows that one. I'll give him that one. But Roadhouse and Days of Thunder.
No, apparently there's a new Red Dawn that came out in 2012.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the old one.
The Red Dawn.
Yeah, the original one.
1984. Yep.
What was the other one? Top Gun.
What did you say? Roadhouse.
Roadhouse 1985 or something. I think was that what I said.
89.
Oh, okay.
Was it really?
You're wrong.
Are you serious? It was that?
Yeah.
That old?
Yep.
So give me a movie you like that was before
Top Gun was 86.
Man, I can't think. I'm bad at thinking of when movies were.
What are you trying to think of?
A movie that Fox liked.
That I liked. That was. I'm sure there's at least a handful of them.
A movie you liked the one that came out after or before you were born?
When was Tron made?
Yeah.
Tron was made in the 80s.
Okay.
When we lived together, I
am not a fan. I'm not a fan. Let me preface this. I'm not a fan of black and white movies. I don't care for black and white.
Okay,
movies.
So you don't like movies made from the 30s or the 40s,
Pirate was
30s and 40s.
Balls
40s.
deep on some black and white shit, trying to get me to watch black and white movies all the goddamn time.
No, there was plenty of movies I tried to get you to watch that were not. I had to twist your arm to watch Red Dawn.
You did.
I still don't know what it is you're trying to think of. Movies that came out when?
Before, like in the 70s.
70s movies that you like?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure there's at
other
least
than Star Wars.
Yeah, other than Star Wars, because apparently that
Caddyshack.
Oh, I like that movie. I have that movie.
Oh, never mind. That was 80.
That's before I was born, though.
That was before he was born. Yeah, my point is
how about Jaws? What about Jaws or The Exorcist?
Jaws was in the 70s.
Godfather.
Was in the 70s.
Right, you know I'm balls deep on some Rocky.
Rocky was 77. Okay.
Clockwork Orange.
He didn't like it.
He
didn't watch Clockwork Orange.
First Rocky was 76.
Halloween. Monty Python.
Apocalypse Now.
You wouldn't watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I've watched it a billion times. That's why I didn't want to watch it, motherfucker. I watched it.
When we lived together, you're like, I'm not like that.
I watched it fucking 100 times when I was in high school. Godfather.
Apocalypse Now. I said Godfather.
He did say Godfather.
Apocalypse Now is a great movie.
Patton was one that you wanted to watch that I had never watched. I'll give you that.
That was one, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and here's my reasoning for it. Okay, I think that yes, there are some of those movies that are really, really entertaining. Yes, really good movies where the acting.
You're more visual than story.
No, not entirely, but I think that there is. I think that there is definitely something to be said for a movie that can balance a good story with good visual effects of the time. Jurassic Park. Wait. Jurassic Park is a good example for me. It's got good, like, for the time, it had cutting edge graphics. It had a good story. I really enjoyed it. I will still sit down and watch Jurassic Park.
So, would you watch Boris Karloff play Frankenstein because in 1939
I have seen that
special effects first story?
I've seen that.
Or what about Bela Lugosi play Dracula?
I've seen that also.
But I'm just saying, like,
it doesn't.
You can't say that.
It's just not my favorite thing. Like, I enjoy a little bit more special effects with my story. It's just personal preference.
So you like a little bit more special effects that you're accustomed to?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
There's ain't nothing wrong with that. It's my flavor. That's how I get down.
I just like more story. I don't care where the special effects.
All right,
personally,
fair enough. So let's get into the heated conversation here and see where this could develop into a conversation. It might just die right away. I don't know. Elizabeth Banks, the actress, producer, director, I think, is complaining now for whatever reason. I don't know why the fuck she's complaining about it now. That she was told she was too old to play Mary Jane when she auditioned for the role for the 2002 Sony Spider-Man movie. She was told she was too old to play Mary Jane in the original Spider-Man movie. She was 28 years old, trying to play a high school student. And she's bitching that she was told that she was too old. Now, her case revolves all completely around the fact that Tobey Maguire at the time was 27 when he played that role. But that motherfucker looked like he was 11 years old.
Yeah, my 14-year-old nephew's bigger than him.
Exactly. The girl that they actually ended up casting as Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst, was 17 years old. She was a high school girl. What is this bitch trying? Why is she complaining about this?
Because she didn't get the role. She wouldn't be complaining if she got the role.
Why is she complaining about it fucking 14 years later?
That's even funnier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? They're just beating this fucking inequality drum that we talked about a while back, where women aren't equal in Hollywood, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck ever? Get over it, bitch. You're 28 years old trying to play a fucking 17-year-old. You don't
in some places that's 17. Illegal. I know, I've tried.
Get over it. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. The character is 17 years old. You're almost 30. You don't look 17. The guy that was playing the 17-year-old character looked like he was 12.
But it does fall into like the fact that he was.
But does it? Does it really?
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Well, hold on. It does in a way if you want to look at it from that stance. It has. There's basis. I'm not saying I do, but if you have a guy, just because he can look like that role, then how come they didn't? I mean, they could have found a 17-year-old to play him, no problem.
For sure.
They could have found a 17-year-old to play him, but they chose a 17-year-old girl and not an older, more seasoned actress to play it. Because they found a 17-year-old girl.
She didn't look like she was fucking 17. That's what they were saying to her.
I'm just saying, I don't even know who this bitch is.
If she looked young,
know what she's been in. What has she been in? Give me a relevance. I don't know.
If she looked like she was young, like Tobey Maguire did, then there would be no problem here. I don't, you know what
but
I'm saying?
All I'm saying is somebody has to say is like, well, if a 28-year-old female isn't good enough to play a high schooler, why is a 28-year-old male?
She was in, let's see, Hunger Games.
She plays Effie Trinket in Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
Is that the chick who's like teaching
May the odds be ever in your favor?
Yeah,
the woman who says that, who runs
Double XL
the drawing.
I've never seen the Magic Mikes.
She's in Pitch Perfect as one of the commentators.
Yeah, she was the commentator in Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh, I think I do know who you're talking about.
Our Idiot Brother.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know what she was in? She was in Role Models, and she was Miri in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Who is she in Role Models?
Beth. She was the
maybe
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. She was.
I've never seen that one. I watch real pornos, not faux pas pornos.
Well, fair enough, I guess. She was the main character's. She was the main character's in Role Models. His girlfriend or fiance or wife or whatever.
Oh, that's totally not the chick I was thinking of then.
Yeah, the guy that plays Ant-Man. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, she was Paul.
What's her name?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, I mean, she ended up being in later iterations of Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Actually, she was in all 3 Spider-Man. She was in 1,
She
2,
was in it.
3.
She played a secretary.
Miss Brandt, yeah. In all 3 of them. But I honestly don't understand why, if the character is listed and not only listed, but well known to be 10 plus years younger than you are, what right do you have to be upset to not get that role? Like, I get it that they cast Toby Keith as being 27 years old playing a 17-year-old.
Tobey Maguire.
But
I'm pretty sure Toby Keith.
Tobey Maguire. I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. Toby Maguire. I granted they cast Toby Maguire as it, but he was a baby face. The dude looked like a kid. He was the exception to the rule. If she was the exception to the rule on the female side, she probably would have got the role because she's got the experience, like Pirate said. I just think it's you can't compare the two. I want Topher's opinion. I want to see if he's going to play devil's advocate and jump in here, because that's when the shit's going to fucking pop off.
She doesn't have that much experience, though. Like, realistically,
she played.
She has 3 years acting.
Devil's advocate implies that you
And
just so you playing the other side that you don't agree with.
Real quick, one point. When you said Shaft, Shaft was only 1 year before Spider-Man.
Oh, shit. No, I want to hear... Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Topher might agree with me on this one.
No. You said we'll see if Topher's going to play devil's advocate. I was going to say, no, I will actually disagree with you for real rather than just forcing myself to.
All right. Let's have it then. Game on, bitch.
I agree. I agree that, if the role says, they're looking to cast or whatever, and you fall outside of that, clearly they're not going to hire, they're not going to cast Betty White, as a high school student right now.
Yeah.
Clearly there are some things that you just can't do. That being said, high school age people are rarely cast as high schoolers in things. Most high schoolers in TV and movies are played by people many years older than that. It's not uncommon at all. And I'm looking at a picture of Elizabeth Banks from around that time, and she looks at least as young as Tobey Maguire. So I don't necessarily disagree with your premise. Where I disagree with you is that it's a double standard. All those arguments you just levied, that's fine if you want to say that, but then your outrage should likewise be at the fact that, well, okay, why did they hire Tobey Maguire if the part said they're looking for a 17-year-old? Like, if you're not going to be angry that they went outside...
Because he looked 17.
So did she?
Here's the thing. They didn't hire off age or anything. They hired off acting experience. If you look at Elizabeth Banks, her first movie or first film she was in or anything revolving around acting was 1998. And Surrender Dorothy as Vicky, as Elizabeth Casey is who she played. You look at Kristen Dunst, the first thing she was in, she was 17 when that movie was filmed. Loving, a TV series in 1983. So she was like a baby, literally a baby. 1989, New York Stories. Let's see, Nick 1989, The Bonfire of Vanities, 1990, High Strung, 1991, Darkness Before Dawn, 1993, Star Trek: The Next Generation TV series, 1993, Interview with the Vampire, 1994. So she had years of acting
and a
experience.
Blockbuster hit as well.
Yes. So you can't look at age. They went with the best bang for their buck, and they got it.
But they told her she was too old. Like, they didn't say it was because of her acting merits or her resume.
Being nice. Being nice.
What hurts more, being told you're too old for a fucking role of a character that's 10 years younger than you, or saying you don't have the fucking chops of this girl that's 10 years younger than you?
I just sent you a picture. Tell me you haven't seen high schoolers played that look older than that.
Oh, Wet Hot American Summer. That's all it is. And Elizabeth Banks was in that because she looks old and she's playing a high schooler.
And how do you know? When was that taken?
I haven't seen it yet. Hold on.
She definitely looks older than a fucking high schooler, for sure. She's got wrinkles in the corners of her eyes. I mean, she has wrinkles in the corner of her. She looks fucking easily 35 years old there.
I mean, I'd still fuck her, though, just to clear the air on that. So, Elizabeth Banks, if you're listening, I'd still pound you.
I mean,
in the Pound Town.
Tobey Maguire didn't look 17 either. Like, if you're going to pick apart one person's age, then you have to do it both ways, is the thing.
Why do you have to do it both ways?
I'm not saying I disagree with your requirements, but you have to apply them fairly in both cases. You can't make an exception in one case and say that the other one, we have to, go hard and fast by the rule here.
What about him didn't look like he could have been potentially a high schooler? Dude weighed about 130 fucking pounds, soaking wet. No gray hair, no wrinkles around his eyes, no wrinkles in his forehead. Small in stature, high-pitched voice. What about that says to you that he couldn't be a high schooler? I don't see any physical attribute about him.
I didn't say he looks fucking 40. I said he doesn't look 17. If you can't tell the difference between him and 17, then don't go near any high schools or you're going to get in trouble.
I mean, man strikes a valid point on that one too, but still.
I mean, maybe I would have guessed that he was 20. I wouldn't have guessed. I would have not guessed that he was 27 years old. There's no way, and you wouldn't have either. There's no way. If you say that you would have, you're fucking bullface lies.
I know the other movies he's been in growing up as a child, so I knew he was much older.
If you hadn't, there's no way.
I don't really need to even register my opinion because Fox is just going to tell everybody what it is, and that if it's different from that, then I'm wrong anyway. So it doesn't really matter what I say.
So in that case, do you rather just sit back and let him assume that your opinion is this, or do you actually validate and then people know that he assumes that it's actually wrong?
I mean, if it's for a casting a high school student and you cast two people of the same, you have two people of the same age and they both look fairly young, and you discount one because of their actual age, then you have to apply that standard the same in both cases. And if you don't,
can you honestly say that when you're looking at a picture of her from that same time frame versus Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, can you honestly say that they looked the same age? That if you had to guess, if you knew nothing about them, either of them, and you had to guess their age, you would guess that they were the same age? I would disagree completely. She definitely, like I said, she looked older.
I mean, if it was brought down to a multiple, like an A or B, are these two, it's like a true or false? True. Are these two people the same age, or false? Are these two people not the same age? I'm going to say false because odds are that they're not the same age. That's just me just trying it in that realm.
I don't know.
I mean, it's subjective. They have games you go to any amusement park and they have people there who will guess your fucking age, and and they get it wrong all the damn time. So obviously, the ability to judge ages, is not an exact freaking science or anything like that. But I don't think it's wrong for somebody to look at a picture of her from that time frame and go, I can believe that she could play a high school student. I don't.
I mean, I think she could.
That would be an inaccurate statement.
I absolutely think she could have done it.
I disagree.
I think she could have.
I don't think there was anything wrong. I guess my point is I don't think there was anything wrong with A, them making that decision, B, them telling her that, because like Pirate said, I think the real decision was based off of acting chops and experience, which Kirsten Dunst clearly had more of.
I mean, Kirsten Dunst had 17 years. She was 17 years old, and she was obviously she was an infant, so let's not count that. Let's just start 1989.
Even so,
she had
10 years.
10 years of solid experience.
All right.
Of acting versus 3.
I think that's the biggest.
That was actually here. That photo I sent you was actually not that old.
But then
I found one from her on the red carpet at the Spider-Man premiere.
But then the other thing that makes me question the whole situation or her motives behind the entire thing is it's 12 years later. You still landed a role, not a lead, not one of the lead roles, obviously, but you got into the movie and it's 12 years later. Why now? Why
she could have played
probably because somebody brought it up in an interview. Do you even know the context? Everybody, people say these things in interviews. People ask, tell me about your time on this movie, blah blah blah, or they'll ask people, and stories just come up. And anytime somebody says something that's halfway interesting, that will be the lead story, and they will say so and so said this. It's okay, yeah, they said that, but that doesn't mean that she'd made it her mission to go around and fucking suddenly complain about this. Somebody asked her the question in an interview, and now people are writing an article about it.
And for the record, after seeing that photo that Topher posted, yes, she could have totally played.
Don't tell me.
I will agree that she could have. I will agree that she could have played it based on that photo, but I will also agree. I will also still say that she does not look as young as Tobey Maguire did.
I mean, she totally does to me.
She does to me.
I don't.
I'm on Topher. I'm on Team Topher for this one.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm torn. I just don't think that it's...
She doesn't look older than Kirsten Dunst did in that movie.
No, she doesn't.
Send that one over. Let's take a look. Let's get an evaluation of that. Just to let me know once you've sent it. I'm trying not to include a bunch of fucking sound effects and shit into the podcast.
I mean, she might look a little younger now that I'm looking up pictures from way back then.
I'm just saying. I remember she looked young. She didn't even look 17 in that movie. She looked like a freshman, like 15 years old or something.
I don't know about that, but all I'm finding are Spider-Man 3, which you're going to say is not valid because that was many years later.
Well, it really was. I mean, in all fairness,
I know, which is why I'm not sending it. Anyway, point is that picture I sent you. You know, like
I will agree. I will agree that she could have played the role. I will concede that fact that she didn't look outlandishly old like she did in the first photo that you sent over to the chat. But
do you know who Olivia Wilde is?
Yes, she played in House, correct?
She played what?
She was in House, right?
Yes, she was in House.
Yeah.
She was denied the role of Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in Wolf of Wall Street because they said she was too old. You know, like that shit happens all the time. Like ageism in Hollywood is a real thing, and it definitely affects women more than men.
Well, how old was the wife, and how old is she?
I don't know. You're welcome to look that up and fact check me on it.
Those are all pertinent facts to that.
I mean, sure.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure they are, but
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's not like I'm making a ludicrous statement here that like I'm not trying to compare apples to oranges here.
Here's my question: is how many guys are told that they're too old? Where are those numbers? Because they exist. Don't act like they don't. But it's not.
It's not nearly as many.
How do you know?
Because it's not publicized.
How do you know? So.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's a conspiracy theory that it's happening in just equal numbers.
I'm not saying it's
they
a conspiracy
just have all
theory,
sworn silence on the issue and just aren't talking about it.
No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying, how do you know? If you don't know the number of guys and you don't know the number of girls that it happens to, how do you know that it's more girls than guys? How do you know?
20%. 20%.
You have no fucking idea.
No, aliens told me. How do you know they didn't? How do you know they didn't?
I don't.
Where are your numbers?
I don't.
Where's your proof that aliens don't exist and didn't tell me these statistics? Where's your proof?
I don't know
That's all
that.
I'm saying.
But I'm
Where's
just
your proof?
By that same argument, you also aren't right.
Okay.
I mean, Pirate just fucking left, apparently. But
all I'm saying is there's a double standard.
But how do you know that?
What?
How do you know that?
Because you have tons of women complaining about it, and you don't hear complaints from men about it because it's not happening to them.
How do you know that it's not? My point is, how do you know that it's not?
And how do you know that aliens didn't tell me? Just because that's the dumbest. You can't say that. How do you know it didn't happen? Because I have proof. Like you don't have proof that it did happen. That's
okay.
What?
I mean, I will. Just for the sake of this argument, just because
that's really, not a logical argument.
I really feel
that's like a religious argument. That's like saying
this is just like the argument about the wage separation between men and women. That argument is also completely misconstrued. Would you disagree with that statement?
Yep.
Okay. Why? Based on what facts?
Because studies have shown that it's true.
Okay. Do those studies take into account that oftentimes men choose jobs that are more dangerous, therefore get compensated more?
You're comparing two different things. You're not talking like I'm not talking.
Choice of job.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Choice of job doesn't fucking matter. I'm talking about studies that show the same fucking job. I'm not talking about like overall men versus women average salaries. Like I'm talking about two people in the same fucking job, and they have done studies, and it's shown it's not fucking equal. Right. So like you can question the reports all you want and come up with conspiracy theories, but I don't know how to prove it to you otherwise if you don't look at the fucking data. I'm sorry. Like I also can't prove that God doesn't exist. I can't prove that the flying spaghetti monster doesn't exist. I can't prove any of that because there's no reports of it because I don't know. Like if you argue everything with how like where's the evidence that it doesn't?
All I'm saying
you
about
can't logically or reasonably argue that. So like there can't be a discussion if you go to unreasonable logic.
All I'm saying is that going back to our original argument about discrepancies in ageism in Hollywood, male versus female, you can't say that it's happening to women and not happening to men just because you haven't heard about it happening to men. You also didn't hear about Bill Cosby being a rapist until you all of a sudden did hear about Bill Cosby being a rapist. Okay? So that's my point. The absence of something does not mean that it's the existence of something else. That's a fucking scientific fact. Just because one thing isn't present, that doesn't mean something else is present. That's a fact. You can argue that all fucking day. That's a fucking
fact. That's not what you're arguing, though.
Yeah, it is. You're saying that because you hear it from women, you don't hear it from men.
You're saying that you have loads of evidence for one thing, and just because you don't have loads of evidence for another thing doesn't mean that it's not the exact same.
Has there been any research? Any studies done?
There are 6 billion
suggest that men have not ever heard this.
There are 6 billion Martians on this planet. Why don't you ever hear anything or prove I'm wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
That's
just because you haven't heard or seen evidence of them doesn't mean that there aren't Martians in equal numbers to the number of humans.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
That's the same argument you're making.
Not at all. I'm asking, if you listen, I'm asking one simple question. You have a bank of evidence on the female side saying these X number of females have complained of ageism in Hollywood.
Yes.
Has there been a poll asking men in Hollywood if they have ever been told they were too old for a role?
So because nobody went around and actually asked every single one of them, the fact that not nearly as many of them haven't come forward is not any indication whatsoever.
Okay, so you're only going based on volunteered evidence. You're not going based on any kind of scientific model to say that this 50 people on either side of the fence have been polled.
I'm done with this. Your arguments are not
for as smart as you are. I don't see how you can't see the big picture here. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, sure.
Best song ever.
It's unreal. All right, well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree because I don't know how to further convince him. I don't know. We've reached an impasse. He's clearly pissed off. That's it for this episode. I'm Fox 2. We got Pirate.
Hey, goodbye, everybody, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm not Topher.
I don't see how you can say that because when there's not evidence of something, you can say that means there might be evidence of it somewhere that we just haven't seen yet. And that is not a valid argument.
I'm saying that we haven't looked for it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, then maybe we should go look for it instead of already deciding that the issue's closed and it's fair and equal.
I didn't say that it was fair and equal. I just said we don't know. That's all I said. I said there's no way to say for sure either way.
You said she was wrong.
I felt she
if you
was.
don't know the other side, well, if you don't know the other side, then you don't have the data to say that she's wrong. Now, do you?
Well, I guess not. But
so that's an unfair judgment on your part.
I have an opinion that she was wrong. But
well,
what I'm
there you
also
go.
saying,
she has an opinion that she's right. Are you saying that your opinion matters more than hers?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
Simply said that it was my opinion. But I also said that I can't believe that there's this disparity until there's some kind of relative study or something done that provides data from both sides of the table, not just one side.
Would you say that men are raped as equally as women are?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I possibly, for sure, possibly.
Far more women have come forward saying that they've been raped than men have.
Maybe the men are more.
Are you saying that they're not raped in equal? That they are raped in equal numbers, and we just haven't gone around and polled all the men to see whether they were or not?
I'm saying it's possible. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's possible.
All right.
Look at the Vatican Church molesting little boys. What, do those not count? Or I'm just out of curiosity. I mean, that was a fucking epidemic. I mean, that's a fucking thing that happened, for sure. So yeah, I think it's a possibility. It absolutely happens, and I absolutely think that men are, or boys, men are very embarrassed about it. So do they come forward? I don't know. At what rate do they come forward? I have no idea. What percentage of them are willing to talk about it? I have no idea. All I'm saying is you have no idea either. So making the assumption that it happens more to women than to men is exactly that. It is an assumption. It is not a statement of fact. It is not anything other than your opinion, because you don't have hard and fast
it's not an
evidence
opinion.
on
it's
both sides.
It's based on the data available, and you're going to make the science argument. Science is a theory based on the best data at the time. There have been loads of hypotheses throughout scientific history that have been proven wrong with the addition of more data and better data.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Current data,
that is exactly what I'm saying.
And at some future point, data might come out that proves this current theory wrong. But at the current moment, the only data we have says it happens far more frequently to women than it does men. And that is a fact. And science means you go with that fact. And if you don't like it, you can find more data to prove an alternate hypothesis. But in the meantime, ignoring it and sticking your head in the sand and saying, well, I don't believe the current data is true, is not science.
Okay.
You guys should check out the thing I just sent the group message. Just saying.
So, all right. Well, I think that's about it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week.